In a story that continues to develop quickly, we have new information coming out of Iran. The Iranian regime says it is ending all commitments under the 2015 nuclear deal. In a statement, the Iranian government says it will no longer limit its enrichment of uranium, abandoning the accord's key provisions that block Tehran from having enough material to build an atomic weapon. The statement says, in part, the Islamic Republic of Iran will end its final limitations in the nuclear deal, meaning the limitation in the number of centrifuges. Therefore, Iran's nuclear program will have no limitations in production, including enrichment capacity and percentage and number of enriched uranium and research and expansion. However, Iran says the government would continue its cooperation with the International Atomic Agency and return to the nuclear deal if sanctions against it were removed and Iran's interests were guaranteed. Now, all of this comes amid heightened tensions over the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani by the U.S. in Baghdad. These are images of Soleimani's funeral procession in northeast Iran today. The general's body was brought back from Iraq, where he was killed in that U.S. airstrike. Hundreds of thousands of mourners flooded the streets to receive his remains. Iraq's parliament has voted to expel foreign troops, including all Americans and Canadians from the country. Although it is not clear if parliament has the power to do that, anger over the U.S. assassination of Iran's top general at Baghdad's airport led to this vote. The people of Iraq are watching this dangerous drama develop all around them. Mustafa Salim is a reporter with the Washington Post's Baghdad bureau. He says most Iraqis have a common feeling about the way things are unfolding.
They are really nervous about what's going on. Since the beginning of the tension between the U.S. and Iran, Iraqi knew that once it will escalate to a war, it will be here inside Iraq, because they are located in the middle. We have lots of Iranian-backed militias active on the ground, armed and ready to fight and do a lot of damage. They have attacked U.S. bases many times ago. But what happened last week, the killing of the senior Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani and the senior Iraqi militiaman who is also deputy of the PMU, Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, has escalated. It's something big. What happened was something big. Now Iraqis, they always thought that the war in Iraq is only expectation and it might not happen. But now it became something like reality. Something with the escalation right now, it can happen at any time, especially with the recent escalations by the Kataib Hezbollah, when they issued a statement saying that they will attack the U.S. bases here in Iraq, and they asked the Iraqi forces to stay away from these bases for their safety. And U.S. responded that if anything happened to their facilities or parties in Iraq, they will respond back. So if Kataib Hezbollah would do something, which I think they will, because they have lost senior leaders, then U.S. will respond back with a severe strike. It will escalate day by day, which will cause a war here inside Iraq, a war that the people are not part of it, and they don't want it to happen.
Washington Post reporter Mustafa Salim speaking to us from Baghdad. Now, also in Baghdad this hour, we are getting reports that 3 rockets fell inside the city's green zone. That is the area where government buildings and foreign missions are located. There are no reports of casualties. We will bring you any developments on this part of the story as they come in. Meanwhile, the new deployment of thousands of American soldiers to the Middle East is a sign that the Trump administration is taking the possibility of Iranian retaliation seriously. Donald Trump is responding the way he often does, by going to Twitter. Now, some people say that he is threatening and his threats violate international law. The CBC's Jacqueline Hansen is in Washington with more on Trump's threat.
The U.S. Secretary of State is defending a tweet by the president in which Trump warns Iran that if it retaliates, the U.S. will hit back hard and fast. Trump says the U.S. has targeted 52 Iranian sites, some at a very high level and important to Iran and the Iranian culture. But as Iran's foreign minister pointed out today, targeting a cultural site would constitute a war crime. International conventions protect heritage sites. But Mike Pompeo says any strikes by the U.S. would be lawful.
President Trump's tweet last night made clear we will continue to do that, and the American people should know we will always defend them, and we'll do so in a way that is consistent with the international rule of law and the American Constitution.
The White House has also now formally notified Congress about the airstrike that killed Soleimani, but it's stirring debate because it reportedly contains only classified information. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff says he has been briefed on the attack, yet even still, he says it's not enough to understand why the president took the action he did.
There certainly was a lack of detail in terms of the plotting. And I don't think we had sufficient guidance on either its imminence or the nature of the attacks to warrant taking out Soleimani. I don't think the intelligence supports the conclusion that killing a top Iranian official is going to either stop plotting or improve American security.
As President Trump returns to the White House today and Congress returns this week, the debate over Trump's decision to order this strike and the demand for more information will no doubt continue.